Alright guys, so this lesson's kind of quick. I think you guys will pick it up pretty easily. Alright, we're talking about logs. So we've already started graphing them. Now we're talking about evaluating them and basically trying to solve them. Alright, so log base b of y equals x if and only if b of x equals y. That will make plenty of sense in a second. Okay, so the way we say this is log base b of y. There are two ways that I teach this. It kind of is however you like to use it. Everyone knows what a bay is, right? Even though I hate the term, but you guys have seen it, right? You're very active on social media. All right, so the B stands for that's your base, your A stands for your answer, and your E stands for your exponent. Okay, so write down bay.
Well, is that gonna mean like ocean? Is that I think of?
No. That will be with a Y. All right, let's look at this first part. It says, rewrite the following logarithmic equations into exponential form. All right, that's important because it's telling you what you need to do. So make sure that you're reading the directions. Okay, so highlight it, underline it, do what you want. Look at letter A. Log base 3 of 81 equals 4. That's what that means. That's what it says. If you do it the Bay way, sounds so weird. Right, Bay on top. It basically tells you what each number is. Okay? So that 3 is your base, 81 is going to be your answer, and that 4 is going to be your exponent. So when we rewrite it, my 3 goes first because that was my base. What was my exponent here? 4, and my answer? 81. That is all you have to do. We are just rewriting it. If you type in your calculator 3 to the power of 4, you're going to get 81. Okay, so there's nothing really to solve here. You're just rewriting. All right, let's do letter B the same way. My base, so it basically says log base 4 of 1 equals 0. So my base is going to be what? 4. And what's my exponent?
0.
And my answer? Because anything to the 0 power we should know is 1. I personally don't like to use the Bay way of thinking. I like to use the spin cycle. Okay? So make sure you're paying attention. This is how I do the spin cycle. You see this first number here is 9, right? I'm going to draw an arrow from 9 to 1 and from 1 to the second 9. Eric, what are you doing? Write this down. You trying to memorize it? All right, you guys see the spin cycle?
Mm-hmm.
So I like the spin cycle because it literally tells you what's coming next. Sometimes with Bay, you guys like to flip-flop your answer and your exponent because it kind of goes out of order, right? So you have to really think about that. There's not really many mistakes with the spin cycle. My first number, my base, is going to be what? 9. My exponent? 1, and it equals 9. Which way do you guys like, Bay or spin cycle?
Spin cycle.
Thank you. Everyone in 5th period said Bay, and I was like, what in the world? I don't think anyone's ever said that. Alright, I personally love the spin cycle. Alright, look at letter D. There's an asterisk beside it because it's a little different. Do you notice how there's no written base here, right? Nope.
It's going to be 1.
Nope. Any more guesses?
0.01.
Yeah.
What happened to my... Oh, here we go. Alright, so there's no number down there. So that means... Okay, I don't know why this popped up. Hold on a second. There we go. So what that means is that my base, if there's no number down here, my base is automatically 10. So draw that in, write it in. Your base for letter D is 10. That is very important. You have to learn that. You have to know it. Now I can do my spin cycle. My 10 leads to what? To -2. My -2 leads to 0.01. Okay? So if I rewrite it, I have 10 to the power of -2 equals 0.01. Is that appropriate?
I said 10.
Oh. I thought you were rapping.
No, I said 7.
Alright. Letter E. I have log base 1/4 of 4 equals -1. Alright, Chinny, my 1/4 goes to what? Why do you guys just take off parts of the number? To the -1. The -1 goes to what, Isaac?
The -1 goes to 4.
Good. Alright, if I rewrite this, I have 1/4 to the power of -1 is equal to 4.
It's so easy.
Alright, letter F. You have to think about letter F as well. You guys notice how there's no base down here. You guys see that? There's no number.
10.
So, nope, it's not going to be 10 because if it was a log, then yes, it would be 10. You guys notice how this is ln, right?
Yeah.
Which we call natural log. We're going to put an E down there.
Oh.
Remember the E?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have a natural log, which is ln, without a base, write E. If you have a log without a base, write 10. So my E goes to my Y, and my Y goes to my X. So I have E to the power of Y is equal to X. I think you guys will be fine on A through C and E. Make sure that you remember what to do when you don't have a base. Don't just make up a number and throw stuff in there. Remember that your base is either 10 or E. All good? Alright. Let's keep moving. Alright, now it says rewrite the following exponential equations into log form. Alright, we're going into logarithmic form. I like the spin cycle again. I think this way, the spin cycle definitely works a lot better here than they does. My 2 goes to my 4 goes to my exponent. So, because we're writing it in log form, what word do you think we need?
Log.
Log. Good. You can't write it in log form without the log. Alright, so that's my first step. My base is going to be what? What was that first number that I started my spin cycle with? 2. So that's going to be the small number down here. Alright, what's the next number?
4.
4. So log base, hold on. Log base 2 of 4 is equal to
2.
2. Shake, you mess up my calibration.
Sorry.
I like that you're excited, but oof. Alright, all good on letter A?
Yes.
Okay. Alright. Letter B. And a little hint for you guys, I know that you probably will be very confident with this, and this will be super easy for you. Always draw your spin cycle, because when you try to do it in your head, sometimes your numbers get off, and these are like easy points if you know what's going on. So I start with my log. What's my base? 3. Okay, so log base 3 of what? 1/9 is equal to -2. Beautiful. Letter C is a little different. I'm still having my spin cycle from E to 1 and 1 to 0, but I'm not going to write E. It needs to be in a log form. So if it's not the word log, it's going to be
ln.
ln, which is your natural log. So we're going to write ln. I like to write my L's in cursive when it's just ln, just so you know it's not one n.
It's natural log.
I don't know. I think that's the weirdest thing. Some mathematician decided that they were going to flip it because it should be like NL.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little weird. All right, so we have ln. That takes the place of the e, okay? My next number here is going to be 1. I'm going to write it like that so you know it's not another L. And it's going to equal what? 0. So that one looks a little different because it is. Your ln, which is your natural log, takes the place of the e, so you don't have to write that e over. So it's the natural log of 1 equals 0. All right, Jeffrey, D is yours. My 16 to my 4, my 4 to my 1/2. How do I write this?
Log.
Yep. Log of, or log base what? What's your base? What's the first number that you started with?
4 or 16.
16. Okay, of 4 equals what? Good. Eric, letter E is yours. Log base what?
9.
Okay, log base 9 of
Star. 29.
729 is equal to 3. Alright, last one, Isaac. Log of what? Log base what?
Log.
Say it.
4.
Of
1 over 64.
is equal to
Negative 3.
-3. Any questions on those 6 problems? Before you turn the page, it says if there is no number given for the base, it is 10. Okay, that's what we just talked about. If there is no number given for the base, then it is 10. However, if it is a natural log, your base is E. All right, now for my favorite part. Okay, I don't really know what I was trying to do here, so let's just skip this box. We don't really need it for our lesson. And I added those notes in, and I really can't remember what I did. It was over the summer, so I don't know. All right, take a look at this. Does everyone know who Biggie Smalls is?
Yes. No.
No.
It's like no.
Oh, that is something in my head.
Okay, I believe that you know. I believe that you don't know. You don't know? Check it out. 2 out of, oh my goodness, only 2 people? All right, so now I have to pull them up. All right, so I like to call this part of the lesson Biggie Smalls.
Long before he told that teacher.
Huh?
Long before he told the teacher.
Oh goodness, before, what song was that, Juicy?
Yeah.
We're not gonna play that.
This teacher don't be working the trash can.
All right, so, oh, that's not a good one. All right, here we go. Biggie Smalls, also known as Notorious B.I.G. Ring a bell now? Yeah, Isaac? No? Okay, he was a rapper. Okay, he was a big rapper in the 90s. Okay, the reason why I bring him up, yeah, him and Tupac had like a, you know who Tupac is?
You don't know
I don't
Do you
know.
listen to music?
Christian music.
Okay, I respect that. So these were rappers in the 90s, okay? So most people either have a favorite of Tupac or Biggie, right? I happen to be a Biggie person. But the reason why I bring Biggie Smalls up, I want you guys to write it on your paper. Biggie Smalls. And if you can tell from the picture,
It's big.
was his size more Biggie or more Smalls?
Baby.
It was more Biggie, so I want you guys to write size. Because that's what's important here. Not the number, but the size of the font is going to be what we're looking at here. So, here's what we're doing. You know how we talked about, if you just have the word log, is assumed that the base is 10 unless something else is there, right? Do you guys notice how there are different numbers here for your base? For some of them. Do you guys see that? Okay, you can't put that in your calculator. You can try as hard as you want to, but as soon as you type in log, a parentheses comes up, okay? Because your calculator is assuming that your log, the base is already 10. So this is what we call the change of base formula, okay? Your change of base formula means that you have to basically trick your calculator into doing what you want it to do. The reason why I say biggie smalls is because if you look at the font size, which number is bigger? 64. Okay, so that goes on top. So let's do log of 64 divided by the smalls, which is, you see how this 2 is much smaller than the 64? Not in terms of numbers, like which one is higher or lower, but in terms of size, the 2 is smaller, so put that on the bottom. And then grab your calculators. I'll pull up mine. Alright, so in your calculator, you're going to tell your calculator to do this problem, but we changed it. Okay, change your base formula, which is our biggie smalls. Type in log of 64 divided by log of, what was it? 2. What do you get? Yeah. You should get 6. You guys get that? Jeremy, you got it? Okay. Alright, so my answer here is 6. We basically had to do that because your calculator, you just can't type this in as you see it. Alright, so let's put my answer here was 6. That last column says calculator steps. We don't really need it for our answer, but we're just going to practice our spin cycle more. If I rewrote this, I would have 2 to the power of what? What's my exponent? 6 would equal 64. Same thing. Okay, so we don't need it for change of base. We don't need to do that for our answer, but we're just getting extra practice. Right, look at letter B. This is why I said we have to think about the size, because clearly 1/2 is bigger than 0.25, but we're not looking at which one is greater in value. We're looking at which one is bigger in size, like the font size. So which one is the biggie? 0.25, and which one is the smallest? All right, grab your calculators. So I have log of 0.25 divided by log of 1/2 or 0.5. You can write either one. You get 2? All right, good. So this equals 2. If we're going to practice our spin cycle, my calculator steps, my base goes first. What's the base? 1 over 2, which is 1/2, to the power of what? Oh, whoa, I did that wrong. To the power of 2. And your answer is what, Eric?
0.25.
Good. If you check that in your calculator, you would see that it's correct. Alright, letter C is biggie smalls. I can't just type it into my calculator, so what's the biggie? Divided by 1/3. Alright, so I'm going to type it in. I'm going to have log of 27 divided by log of 1/3. You guys get -3? So if I do my calculator steps, I'm going to have 1/3 to the power of -3 is equal to 27. All right, look at letter D. Notice how that's different, right? It's different because there isn't a base. So my base for the natural log is just known to be E. you can just put that right in your calculator. Go to your calculator and type in ln, which is right next to your 4. What was it, 6.9? You guys get this decimal? Alright, let's just round it to 1.93. So your answer is just 1.93. You don't even have to do those other two. There's nothing to change, there's nothing to rewrite. You can just solve that. If you can ever just solve it, then solve it. Same with letter E. Do I have a base? No. So if it's a log, your base is understood to be what? 10. Good. Alright, so grab your calculators and you can just type it in. Log of 25 is 1.39 on and on, right? Let's say that you forgot that. Let's say that you're just in your Biggie Smalls mode. And let's say that you did Biggie over Smalls. So you have log over 25 divided by log over 10. You get the same answer. You would just be doing it like a longer way. You can just type it into your calculator. So let's write 1.40. That's pretty easy. You don't really need this, but if you did it, you would have log of 25 over log of 10. I would know that it's 10 because that's a little 10 in there for my base. Alright, last one. You guys do it. Let me know what you get. Jeffrey, you got this one?
Yeah, it's -2.
Alright, so what'd you write for your Biggie Smalls?
Log over,
Log of what?
125.
Log of 1 over 25. Alright, divided by
Log 5.
log of 5. Then your calculator, you got what?
-2.
Did everyone get -2?
Yeah.
Good. So if we rewrite this, my base is 5. Your exponent was what? Which equals 1 over 25. Okay. Alright, you guys have 2 more problems to the end. Let's do these. Alright, so it says to rewrite in exponential form. In exponential form means that I need to have an exponent. Alright, so here's my spin cycle. What number do I write first? 5 to the power of what? Equals
0.4.
0.04. Alright, when it says evaluate, that basically means to solve. That's a fancy math way of saying solve. The logarithmic expression. So it needs to be in log form. Okay, I can't type this into my calculator because my base is different. So let's do Biggie Smalls. What goes on top?
216.
Divided by
46.
log of 1/6. What do you guys get when you do that? -3. Did everyone get -3? Alright, good. Alright, so the lesson is done. You have 2 options. I have extra credit for you. So you can work on the extra credit or you can start your homework and get checked off. Alright, but we have plenty of time for you to probably get a good start on both of them. Don't waste this time. You guys good? Alright.
Sounds like me. Like, now I was really thinking.